Let's go. Hey, it's Ryan, and welcome to episode 4 of the Ryan Ingram Show. And in today's episode, I was gonna do some NFL Week 16 predictions, but I'm recording this as of Sunday night, so most of the games have already actually been played. But what I'll actually do in this video is I'll tell you the teams that I would have predicted to win, and then compare that with the actual results of the actual game. So let's kind of get started. So what I did is I did it similar to the way I did a lot of my other videos, and I chose 5 stats / metrics that I chose in order to predict which team would win. So the stats I chose were the number of sacks they got on the year, interceptions, the number of sacks they've taken, the number of punts, and then rush yards that they've gotten for the season. I changed it up a little bit, just trying to pick better stats, I guess. So that's what I came up with. And for the first game, where it's going to be the Rams versus the 49ers. And in this game, the 49ers won. Well, before the game, just as far as the season stats, the 49ers were better in 4 out of the 5 stats I chose. So I chose the 49ers to win. And bada bing, bada boom, the 49ers won. Had I bet on that game, I would have had a payday. And the reason the 49ers won was, honestly, it seems like a game the Rams should have won. I mean, the Rams had more sacks, less turnovers, and more total yards, but Jared Goff threw a pick 6, so that was enough for the 49ers to actually take the win in this game. But yeah, so that was one of the predictions I got right. Actually, I'll tell you guys right now, I actually did pretty bad on predicting this week. But yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to that. So the next game I predicted was the Jaguars versus the Falcons. And I had the Jaguars. I chosen the Jaguars to win this game because they were better in 3 out of 5 of the stats. They're better in sacks, the number of sacks they've gotten, the number of sacks they've taken less, and they had more rush yards in the year. Then when it comes to actual game, the Falcons actually won. And that's because the Falcons had more sacks in the game. Come on. The Jaguars almost have double the amount of sacks the Falcons have for the season. But then the Falcons get more sacks in the game. I mean, I don't even know what to say. But anyways, and the Falcons had more rush yards, which isn't what the stats suggested. And then the Jags also they couldn't continue their drives. Their quarterback Gardner Minshew only had a 41% completion percentage, 41% completions. So yeah, the Jaguars are struggling on offense, and the Falcons just outplayed them. So that was one of them I got wrong. But all right, so for the next game, it's going to be the Ravens versus the Browns. An interesting one because the Ravens are on fire this season, this season. And they only lost 2 games, and one of the games they lost was to the Browns. So this is kind of a big game for the Ravens. They wanted to come in and show, you know what I mean, kind of get revenge, I guess. So this game I chose the Ravens to win because they beat the Browns in 3 out of the 5 metrics. They took less sacks. They punted a lot less. They actually have punted the least of any team in the entire NFL this season. And they had the most rush yards also in the NFL. And that's what happened in the game. The Ravens had more rush yards and they punted way less. So that allowed them to take the win. So yeah, that was the second game I actually predicted correctly. And all the other ones I got wrong. I mean, I'm dumbfounded, but hey, it's what happened. So the next game is the Bengals versus the Dolphins. This game is kind of like the Tank Bowl. Both these teams were it's what, Tank for Tua, or I don't know, Tank for Burrow. I don't know. I can't think of anything clever to say for his name. But yeah, this is two rebuilding teams, developing teams, you can call it. And in this game, I predicted the Bengals to win because they had more sacks. They've gotten more sacks. They've taken less sacks, and they have more rush yards. But in this game, the Dolphins actually won. Fitzmagic pulled through. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Andy Dalton actually had a pretty good game, but it wasn't enough. So yeah, the Dolphins, they had more sacks in this game and less rush yards, which is not what the stats suggested. And the Dolphins had less punts, which is what I would have predicted. But yeah, they had more sacks and rush yards, which yeah, that's why they won. You know, they outplayed the Bengals this game. So yeah, how can you predict that? Like, I don't even know. Like, maybe I just have to like look deeper into it, or you know what I mean, or like actually, honestly, I don't even know. I need to talk to a professional, but I messed that one up. It was actually a decently close game. Next game I predicted was the Giants versus the Redskins, and in this game I had the Redskins winning, because they were better in 3 out of the 5 stats, and they had more sacks, more interceptions, and more rush yards. But in this game, the Giants actually won. Daniel Jones had a really good game. I think he threw like 5 passing touchdowns. Yeah, Daniel Jones had a real good game. Saquon Barkley had a huge game. I think he had like almost 190 rush yards. Yeah, Saquon Barkley, the running back out of Penn State, I believe. Yeah, the guy's a freak athlete, you know, and that's awesome. That's what I don't know. Like I was saying, in my last video, the mock draft, I was like, oh yeah, taking skill positions early might not be that good. But I mean, I don't know. Hey, it works for some teams because Saquon Barkley. Well, I mean, it helps when he has a crazy game like that. You know, it's like wow, it's a no-brainer to take him. But you know, if he has like a slow night, it's like oh man, we should have took someone else. I don't know. Hey, good for him though. He had a really good night. But yeah, in this game, the Giants had more sacks and more rush yards, which I mean, they had more sacks, rush yards, total yards, and they had less turnovers in the game. So yeah, I didn't predict that. I predicted that the Redskins would have had more sacks and rush yards in the game. So I'm just going based off the stats. I'm just going based off the numbers, really. Maybe I just have to do more in-depth analysis. But yeah, the Giants ended up winning. Hey, I would have lost money if I bet on that game. Good thing I didn't. Next game is gonna be Cowboys versus the Eagles. Well, actually, before I finish on the Giants Redskins game, it's actually an interesting one because this is like what happened in last year's draft, like the Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins thing. Like everyone thought the Giants, like when it first happened, everyone's like, "Oh man, the Giants should have took Dwayne Haskins. Like they're gonna regret it. They're gonna regret it for the next 10 seasons whenever they play, you know, or whatever." And I think they're both gonna be good quarterbacks. So that was kind of an interesting thing to see them go head to head and see who will come out victorious. But anyways, now for another kind of rivalry, the Cowboys versus the Eagles. Um, NFC, the NFC East. They're battling for the NFC East division. And in this game, I predicted the Cowboys to win. And that didn't happen. That did not happen. And it's weird because they literally just came off like one of their best games of the season. Last game, I forget who they played. Yeah, they had like a really nice game. And I think the reason is because they just ran the ball so much. They played the Rams last week, and they blew them out with 44-21. They had a really good game. They ran the ball like 40 plus times. They only threw like 23 times, I think. Didn't put a lot of pressure on Dak and just allowed Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, I believe his name is, the new running back. And they just had really good games. But this game, they kind of like they fell into a slump again. I think you could attribute it to they started throwing a lot more. They didn't give Dak the ball. They didn't give Zeke the ball as much, so they struggled against the Eagles. But I mean, I don't know what to say. But anyways, the Eagles take the win here, so that puts them in the lead when it comes to actually getting that playoff spot. So we'll see the Cowboys, and if the Cowboys get eliminated from the playoffs this season, man, I might be afraid for Jason Garrett's job. I mean, things aren't looking good for him. But hopefully he can pull it together. I'm not sure if they got eliminated from the playoffs or not, but yeah, that head-to-head matchup was huge. So good for the Eagles. Yeah, like I said, I saw some things where people were predicting the Eagles to actually win the Super Bowl this season. They didn't have that crazy of a season, but if they do make the postseason, they had some pretty nice weapons. And Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz, the nice tight end duo. We got Miles Sanders, the new running back. He's pretty nice. So yeah, their offense is pretty nice. Their defense though hasn't been as dominant, but if their offense can carry them, then hey, we'll see. So, like I said, so the Eagles won that game. I predicted the Cowboys to win because they were better in 3 of the key stats. I think the Cowboys taken the least sacks in the season. Right? Everyone's like, oh yeah, they have the best offensive line in the NFL. And hey, I mean, the numbers don't lie. They've taken 18 sacks in the season compared to the Eagles, which have taken 35. So yeah, Dak has had plenty of time to throw the ball. And the Cowboys are able to protect him really well. So yeah, good for him. That's why he's been having a really good season. But yeah, Eagles had more sacks in this game and more rush yards, less turnovers and less punts. So yeah, the Eagles won that one. So yeah, I got 2 out of 6 games. I predicted 2 out of 6 games right. I mean, dang, I gotta step up my game. Real talk. But hey, honestly, I might have just got unlucky these. I might have just got unlucky these games. I mean, I don't know. I might have just got unlucky. We'll have to look into it some more. Yeah, and the last game I had was the Packers versus the Vikings on Monday Night Football. This is going to be a really interesting game. Yeah, this game is going to be really interesting because it's and here I'm looking at it right now. So honestly, I don't know, but yeah, the NFC North battling for the NFC North division. The Packers are at 11-3 compared to the Vikings that are at 10-4 right now, and the Vikings still might have a chance to win the division. I'm not sure, but hey, it looks like it. They have this head-to-head game tonight. If the Vikings win, they'll have the same record. But yeah, based on who I predict to win this game, I actually have the Vikings winning this game, which kind of surprised me. But yeah, when it comes to these 5 key metrics, the Vikings are actually ahead in every single one of them. Yeah, the Vikings have more sacks, more interceptions. They've taken less sacks. They've punted less, and they've rushed more. You know, they have Dalvin Cook. Some people say he's one of the best running backs in the NFL. He's obviously really good. Yeah. So Dalvin Cook's really good, and Kirk Cousins has been playing a little bit better this season. Vikings have a really solid defense. So yeah, we'll have to see in this game. I probably assume if most people just had to guess who do you think's going to win, Packers or Vikings, most people would probably say Packers just because they seem like the stronger team. Like if you just had this, like if you know people, like if you're talking to people who know football a little bit, and they're like, yeah, who do you think will win, Packers or Vikings? I have a feeling most people would say the Packers just because they've looked really strong this season. And if they do make the postseason, they'll probably be able to make some noise. I mean, it's going to be a really good playoffs this season. So yeah, I'm excited. I'll definitely want to do predictions on that. That'll be really fun. But yeah, I have the Vikings winning this game. We'll see. We'll see if I can go 3 for 7. We'll see if I can go 3 for 7. That would actually make my record a lot better. If I go 2 for 7, dang, I'd be struggling. We got to fix it up if I go 2 for 7. Yeah, we'll go 3 for 7. We'll hope for 3 for 7. I got the Vikings winning this game. But anyways, that's all I got for this video. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.